Welcome to today's Explainer. We're jumping right into a story that is honestly going to completely dismantle how you view medical limitations. It's all about the sheer power of holistic coaching. We're exploring a journey that totally defies the boundaries of modern medicine. It's this incredible testament proving that our minds and bodies, they're far more capable of adaptation than we are usually led to believe.
Think about this for a second. What actually happens when a doctor's prognosis becomes a life sentence and someone just straight up refuses to serve it? That pretty provocative question sets the stage for Tajin Park. Tajin is a 25-year-old guy diagnosed with cerebral palsy and autism. And his story, and the staggering transformation you're about to hear about, is going to completely challenge everything you think you know about human potential, brain plasticity, and the true meaning of resilience.
So when you look at the traditional medical consensus around cerebral palsy, you are immediately hit with these really heavy final words: permanent and non-progressive. The medical world largely views this condition as a fixed state, right? It's like a concrete ceiling placed on a person's physical and motor capabilities that just doesn't change or improve over time.
But here's where we see a massive paradigm shift. Olympic weightlifting champion and coach Jersey Gregorek steps into the picture, and he completely rejects the standard recovery model that's so prevalent in physical therapy. You know, the model that usually just tries to keep patients comfortable or return them to some prior baseline. Instead, Jersey brings in his athletic approach. The sole focus here? Constant forward progress, getting stronger and actively breaking personal records.
And that brings us to a really stark yet incredibly empowering philosophy. Because Tajin couldn't return to a prior healthy baseline. I mean, he was born with this condition. Jerzy realized that forward athletic progression was literally his only actual option to live a real life. There was no going backward to fix things. Actually, scratch that. There was no backward at all. The only way out was forward, just like an elite athlete in training.
To really wrap our heads around the magnitude of this transformation, we have to look at exactly where Tajin started. When Jerzy and Tajin first met, his existence was just incredibly limited. At 25 years old, his resting energy was so entirely depleted, he was practically taking shelter in sleep. He was constantly dozing off in the car or his room. He was so stiff he'd fall daily. And socially, he couldn't really converse beyond stating super basic needs, like just wanting to eat or sleep.
Okay, this is where the absolute magic of microprogressions comes in. On his very first day in the gym, Tajin couldn't even unrack a standard 15-pound bar. But Jerzy didn't just throw in the towel and send him home. No way. Instead, he handed him a 3-pound wooden bar normally meant for toddlers. And Tajin lifted it. Then Jerzy added tiny weights to make it 8 pounds. Tajin lifted that too. Step by step, they found the exact starting point where Tajin could actually succeed, eventually struggling his way up to that 15-pound maximum. Just think about this incredible milestone. By diligently celebrating these tiny, adorable little micro-victories, the compounding effects were absolutely staggering. After years of consistent training, Tajin eventually bench-pressed 170 pounds. Think about that. That was a working weight heavier than his own father, who had been sitting there watching this seemingly impossible transformation happen right before his very eyes. And here's the thing, physical strength inside the gym always translates to autonomy outside of it. Tajin's stiffness meant he couldn't even sit normally. He'd bend forward awkwardly just searching for a chair. So Jerzy started him squatting to a high 20-inch box, and slowly, patiently, micro-progressed him lower. Perfecting the squat on a 16-inch box was the exact mechanical breakthrough Tajin needed to finally use the restroom completely on his own. Talk about unlocking a massive level of personal dignity, right?
But coaching the body is really only half the battle here. A huge part of this process was actually training his incredibly devoted parents to patiently step back and just allow Tajin to struggle. There was this one day Tajin's shoelaces were untied. Instead of letting his father rush in to fix it like he usually would, Jerzy insisted Tajin do it himself. It took a full, agonizing 20 minutes of fumbling while his parents just had to watch, but you know what? He did it. The core philosophy driving all of this is perfectly captured in Jerzy's famous mantra: hard choices, easy life. Easy choices, hard life. Enduring that temporary, painful struggle, the hard choice of taking 20 minutes to tie a shoe or struggling with a 3-pound wooden bar, was the only actual path to granting Tajin an easier, fully independent future. And then, the physical gains triggered this fascinating domino effect. As Tajin's physical strength grew from the squats and bench presses, his resting energy fundamentally shifted. His chronic lethargy completely vanished. And because he was finally awake and energized, it woke up what Jerzy called a virgin brain that was suddenly just incredibly hungry for new information and stimulation.
I mean, just consider this cognitive evolution timeline. Jerzy initially sparked Tajin's intellect simply by having him memorize the license plates of passing cars during his commute. That one simple challenge set off a massive cognitive chain reaction. Within a year, he was conquering math. Within 3 years, this young man passed elementary and high school curriculums. And by year 5, he was literally writing college essays.
The work ethic behind this was just staggering. Fueled by all that new physical energy unlocked from his bench presses, Tajin began doing math for 5 to 6 hours a day. He would be up at 2 a.m. on his computer, completely obsessed with learning. Honestly, that is a level of hyper-focus and mental endurance that would easily exhaust most of us.
This growth didn't just stay academic, it eventually crossed over into emotional neuroplasticity. As Tajin's awareness grew, so did his resentment. He claimed to hate the sun, the police, and even his parents. But Jerzy didn't coddle him. Instead, he challenged Tajin to logically argue why those very things were actually essential and good, deliberately expanding his imagination and forcing his brain to find positive acceptance.
To teach Tajin about the real complexities of human emotion, Jerzy used a brilliant tool: poetry. Think about it, transitioning from a purely literal concrete existence to grasping abstract feelings is incredibly difficult. So Jerzy had Tajin memorize poems and analyze them line by line, teaching him to understand those deeply human feelings hiding right behind the words. This led to some truly profound philosophical awakenings. For example, Tajin had written a school essay praising Genghis Khan. Jerzy pushed back on this, asking if a conqueror is truly a hero. He introduced Tajin to the story of a Korean admiral who sacrificed himself for his people, and then made Tajin rewrite his essay to learn a vital lesson. True heroes sacrifice for others rather than just conquering them.
Because Tajin previously had no real-life experiences, his mind kind of lacked personal context. So Jerzy engineered these beautiful celebratory milestones. Every time a gym record was broken, Jerzy printed a physical diploma and had the family host a celebratory dinner. He intentionally gave Tajin's brain a joyful, proud history, so he actually had a life to talk about and reflect upon.
Okay, this next detail is without a doubt one of my absolute favorite moments in Tajin's story. Tajin wanted to quit practicing the piano, and let's face it, sometimes he hated the grueling physical training too. Jerzy playfully told Tajin he could only make adult choices, like quitting piano, if he proved his adulthood by achieving the highly athletic feat of jumping onto an 18-inch box. He basically tricked him into a massive 2-year mission of athletic progression. So clever, right?
So what does this all mean for the future? Well, the ultimate goal now is to figure out how to scale this miracle. Jerzy is looking to structure this isolated success into a holistic 5-part research center to help thousands of others. By equally assessing the physical, math, language, philosophy, and beliefs of a patient, this could become a real game changer, a powerful, replicable framework for therapists everywhere.
Despite engineering this massive transformation, Jerzy humbly insists he didn't fix Tajin. He views himself simply as a facilitator. He provided the unyielding challenges and the safe space, for sure, but ultimately, it was Tajin who bravely built himself. By finding the exact right starting points, Jerzy allowed Tajin's own brain plasticity to carve out a completely new destiny.
The culmination of this 5-year journey is honestly nothing short of magical. Tajin now lives a fully autonomous, independent life that medical science said was absolutely impossible. He orders his own Uber rides, manages his own daily schedule and college paperwork, and has successfully passed 57 units at his community college.
As we wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with this final, deeply provocative thought. If Tajin can completely rewrite his supposed medical destiny through the simple power of microprogressions, what is your excuse for not taking that very first small step today? Whatever your 3-pound wooden bar is, go lift it. Thanks so much for learning with us today.